Well, it's been a long day. Just about ready to pack it in. After a few bites of ice cream from the freezer, I turn off all the lights and walk down the hall to my room. Wonder if Amanda's still awake. That kid needs some sleep. As I pass the room, I can hear a faint sound. Can't make out what it is. I get a little closer. Oh, she crying. Her upset. Friend drama. We did this before. This is normal plot. We will caringly, though, ask a question. Something did happen. We don't want to badger her. We're not going to badger her. We're going to give her time. We know that that's the proper thing to do. Why? Because we're supportive, but we are not smothering.
Oh.
Okay? That's your best friend. Your best friend is betraying you. Don't worry about that. We'll get to that later. That's the last one. Don't worry. If you want more details, go check out the stream. There he is. She moved the bed too. The gossipy one. It's always the gossipy one. Told you that bitch is crazy. I can't believe that. Always affirmative. That person is unreasonable. You are very reasonable. You're great. What you have to say, your feelings are valid. I support you. You are my daughter. My best daughter. My only daughter. Which is why I can't switch you in dad defeating Pokemon game. Because you're the best. High school sucks. This is the truest wisdom. Let's not worry about that. We'll get past it.
I love you too, Dad.
High school does suck.
Welcome. You've got dads.
And here we are. Robert. 2 dates down, 1 to go. Third date's very important. This is our dream daddy. I'm sure about it. Look at him. Does he not have the makings of a dream daddy? Haven't spoken to Robert since that night we drove out to his thinking spot. I was doing a lot of hard thinking from what I heard. He seemed unusually somber then. Like, more so than usual amount of somber that Robert is, which is already a lot. I've been thinking about him. I hope he's doing okay, but I've been a little reluctant to reach out to him. He's reaching out to us! I take a look at my dad book messages. There's a flurry of them from Robert, and by that I mean 3. That's pretty much a flurry from him. Hey, handsome. Hey, handsome. Guess who's getting their drink on tonight? Guess. It's you. Also me, but mostly you. I was like, right now? Yeah. Type back to Robert. Robert, buddy, tonight we ride. Yes. Meet me at Gem and Kins at 8 p.m. Not that I'm unappreciative, but I think this is the first time that Robert's given me more than an hour's warning before hanging out. It's true, though. Amanda! Amanda pops her head in the hallway. Music I don't recognize blaring from her room. What's up? I'm hanging out with Robert later tonight. Okay, cool. Robert, who is my friend. I have friends. I'm happy for you, Dad. People enjoy my company. Amanda.
Aww.
Dad, I'm so happy for your continued development as a human being. What are you listening to? Sad shit. In language. What would Grandma think? I don't give a fuck anymore. Amanda, language. Sad stuff, sweetie. Holy stuff. Lay off me, Pops. And it goes back in her room and turns with the volume on her sad stuff. I put on my going out coat and walk over to Gem and Kim's. I spot Robert leaning against a brick wall, smoking a cigarette. As I get closer, I realize that he looks a little different. Cleaner, I guess. Actually seems like he combed his hair and his clothes are less wrinkled than usual. Hey. Hey. You take a shower just for me? I'm working on my relationship with existence. We both stand there for a second and don't say anything. Robert finishes his cigarette and abruptly goes inside. I follow him. By the time I get inside, Robert's already at the bar ordering 2 whiskeys. I spot a booth in the back and claim it for us. Robert slides in and hands me a glass. To us. and all the property damage and petty larceny that we may commit tonight. We clink whiskeys and I watch him sip his rather than his traditional approach to slamming the whiskey back as quickly as possible. So what's the plan for tonight? Hit some other bars, maybe grab some pizza. Think that'll kill some time before we burn down that old abandoned house in the woods. It's definitely not as fun as if it's abandoned.
Hey.
Mary pops over the back of the booth, a glass of wine in her hand, punches Robert in the shoulder. Where's my phone? Where was my phone call? Wow. Sorry, figured you were busy sinking your teeth into some poor sap. I am, he's right there. I look around the booth to see a guy sitting across from her. He waves meekly. You replacing me with the new kid? Mary, I could never replace you, whether I wanted to or not. Mary leaves her booth and slides in next to Robert. The guy she was sitting with looks mildly relieved. She eyes Robert's clean, fresh clothes up and down suspiciously. What, you got a court date coming up? You would have had to shave first. Seriously though, what's up with you? Robert stares down at his drink, suddenly looking serious. It's Pappy. Doctor says it's cirrhosis of the liver. I told that old bag of bones to quit with the sauce, but it's all he's ever known, especially since Ma's gone. That's why I invited you out tonight. Just didn't want to be alone. Oh, come on. Handsome, don't be an asshole. You know the one thing Robert doesn't joke around about is his Pappy. Oops. They're giving him 2 months. I gotta help him straighten out his affairs. Robert, I'm so sorry. Robert takes a long look at his whiskey, eyeing it in the dim glow of the bar's lights. I look at his life, and I look at mine. I know history is just doomed to repeat itself. Oh my god. I'm just kidding. He's retired with his new girlfriend in Acapulco. They watch the sunset every night. Probably screw like donkeys. Wait, aren't rabbits the ones who screw a lot? Oh, sorry. Didn't realize you were an expert on which animals screw a lot. Please stop saying the word screw. Robert finishes his drink and slides it away from him. He gets up out of the booth. Me and Handsome are gonna hit the bricks. You coming with? Mary casts one last glance at the sad sap she's been hunting and downs the rest of her wine in one gulp. This place is dead anyways. We exit the bar and find the typically empty street filled with a small crowd of people. At the front is a guy with a really deliberate attitude and a bad posture. He carries a lantern that he shines up at his face for dramatic effect. What's going on? Looks like it's one of those walking ghost tours. They do that a lot in this part of town. They do that in this part of town all the time. I've always wanted to do one of those. You know all the stories are fake, right? Oh. Pretty much all of my stories are fake. This is research. Robert makes a beeline towards the back of the group. He turns around when he notices I'm not following him. Come on! We can't just crash it, can we? Don't be such a square, Handsome. Just act like you belong. Robert sidles up to the tour group. I reluctantly fall into step behind him. Well, here goes nothing. Hey! It was in this place, 1694, that the most infamous witch trials were held. Tourmaster Quinn. Wow. To date, we do not know if the people burned at the stake were actually witches, but it is widely reported that their ghosts still haunt this hapless dive bar to this very day. It was actually 1692. What? And the site was over by the coffee shop down the road. I'm sorry. Who are you? Daniel McSturgis, ghost historian. And this is my colleague, Dr. 80s reference, 90s reference, 2000s contemporary reference. He looks like an 80s man. Oh yeah, he loves it! Dr. Loomis, paranormal investigator extraordinaire. We're touring America's most haunted locations as research for our new book. You may have seen our guest cameo on Paranormal House Hunters Extreme Edition. A couple of people in the group start nodding. Man, Robert's good at this. Are you guys part of the group? I don't remember seeing you at the first stop. We like to keep a low profile. Easier to catch ghosts that way.
Hey, sailor.
They've definitely been here. Been standing next to them the whole time. Thank you, random lady who I do not know. As I was saying, the epicenter of paranormal activity can be found at the Coffee Spoon over there. The man who runs it has been plagued by hauntings since he signed the lease. Damn near driven him mad. But whatever you want to say is cool, I guess. It's your tour. Man, I didn't know that about Matt. Wait, Robert's making this up. The rest of the tour group listens intently to Robert's every word. I think the tour guide can tell that he's losing the group. He seems to be getting flustered. Oh, thank you for your contribution and knowledge, Mr. McSturgis. Let's move on to the next haunted location. Robert, Mary, and I follow the group down the street. That tour guide shirt is cool. Yeah, everyone in the group gets one if they make it to the final location. I turn to Robert and grab him by the shoulders. I need that t-shirt. Well, guess we're in this for the long haul then. Just follow my lead. Don't arouse too much suspicion. And we'll have cool ghost shirts in no time. Wow. Our group arrives at an old decrepit colonial style house. Okay. A quick pause in the tour. My name is Quinn, but most people on the ghost tour circuit call me Tour Master Quinn. I'm a DJ, trivia master, and part-time actor. The shades darkened. I do private ghost hunting events, birthday parties, MC bar mitzvahs, and perform traditional vaudevillian mime work. Tour Master Quinn gives out headshots to all of us. His resume is on the back. Stage combat experience. Anyway, here's a little bit of history for you all. This was the home of noted American author Dorothy Pembridge, whose prose was wildly popular in the late 19th century. It was in the attic of this very home where she wrote such classics as The Diaries of a Victorian Mistress, Lady Fitzwilliam's Courtship, and The Ghost of Sea Captain Reginald Barclay. She unfortunately died of consumption shortly after the turn of the century, but several people have reported on some nights that you can see a light from the attic, where the ghost of Miss Pembridge continues to work on her latest bestseller. I guess you could say that she was consumed by her work. No reaction from the crowd. This guy needs to work on his dad jokes. Actually, consumption is the most popular cover-up. Little known fact is that it was a murder-suicide. I'm pretty sure she died of consumption. Sure. And we definitely didn't hire Stanley Kubrick to elaborately fake the moon landing. That's the watered-down, censored version they teach you in school. But if you can't handle the real story, I understand. It's not for the faint of heart. Can we... I think everyone would much rather hear what this world-renowned ghost historian has to say, right, everybody? The group murmurs in agreement. This is a topic we cover extensively in our book, Dr. Loomis. Would you care to tell this story? Riff something highbrow. Go with something I know. Rely on amazing improv comedy skills. Go with something I know. Riff something highbrow. Yes, though it's really covered in traditional textbooks. Dorothy Pembridge was caught in fierce rivalry with fellow local author Arthur Livingston Pierce. Arthur's books were blatant rip-offs of Pembridge's work and consistently sold better. Pembridge was enraged by this and confronted Livingston Pierce at this home with plans to end his life. Their bitter feud surprisingly blossomed into a torrid, passionate love affair. After many months of secret courtship, Pembridge followed through with her original plan and poisoned Livingston Pierce in his sleep. Overcome with unexpected grief, Pembridge polished off the last of the poison and died by her lover's side. Reports say the couples who enter this house will no doubt doom their relationship to a bitter end. Man, I should bring my wife here. The entire tour group laughs heartily. I'm kidding, my wife is dead. The crowd gasps. She was killed by a ghost. The crowd gasps again. I'm just messing with you guys. A nervous chuckle ripples through the crowd. The tour guide seizes an opportunity to take back the group and addresses us with some razzle-dazzle. Ah, what an interesting story. Now, I just want everyone to know that the next location is extremely terrifying. If anyone thinks they can't handle it, feel free to excuse yourselves. All right, I'm bored. Mary turns to a young guy looking at his phone and taps him on the shoulder. Hey, kid, fancy buying a gal a drink? The guy looks up at her and smiles. Only if the bar is haunted. Honey, I can show you the most haunted place in town. Guy, I think I could exorcise your demons, if that's what you're looking for. Don't write checks your dick can't cash, kid. Oh, his eyes go wide. Mary salutes me and Robert. She suddenly pulls me into a hug and murmurs into my ear.
Oh.
When you've known Rob for as long as I have, you know when something's wrong. Keep an eye on him for me tonight, okay? Sure, Mary. Good man. Mary pats me on the back and pulls away. She takes the guy's hand and leads him down the street. Take it sleazy, fellas. God help that poor soul. Mary or the kid? Both. Our last stop, this burial ground, is such a hotbed for horrifying paranormal activity that I'm not even sure where to begin. There's the wailing ghost of the wharfman, the vampire of Maple Bay, the children of the moonlight. What about the Dover ghost? By this point, the tour guide is clearly irritated with us. What about it? Oh, nothing. I just think it would be a crime to come all the way out to the cemetery, the actual origin of one of the New England's most notorious paranormal entities, and not even mention the infamous Dover ghost. That's not a real thing. That's absolutely not a real thing. I think someone needs to brush up on their paranormal history. I know tons about paranormal history. I know every ghost story in this area. I can guarantee there's one you don't know. Robert looks over at me and smiles. Would you folks care to hear the tale of how Loomis and I met? Oh, the entire group shushes the tour guide. Okay, fine. Tell the story. Well, it was a dark and stormy night. I wasn't always a paranormal investigator. Way back when, I was just a... traveling grifter. Moving from town to town, always looking for my next mark. It wasn't an easy life, but I had fun. Taking from the rich, giving to the poor. Actually, also taking from the poor. I had a shaky moral foundation. Happened upon the quiet town of Maple Bay quite by accident. But little did I know that this city has a dark side. Now, about the same time, I was starting out as an apprentice to a rather famous ghost hunter, who was an old family friend of mine. Carried the equipment, operated the EVP machine, all that. Wait. Yes? Who was the famous ghost hunter? Well, I don't like to name drop, but Georgia Mathers. The tour group gasps. Georgia Mathers? She's a legend. You know her? Knew her. Amazing woman. Died mysteriously. Miss you, Georgie. Anyway, we were in Maple Bay investigating some reports of strange lights and sounds coming from the cemetery late at night. Now we'd been warned by old crypt keeper that this place was highly dangerous, but Georgia was never one to shy away from adventure. We camped out in the center of the cemetery for 3 nights straight. We endured your so-called wailing watchman. Wailing ghost of the wharfman. Whatever. Your stupid vampire was just a teenager in a mask. But the Dover ghost? Man. Tell him, Loomis. So there I was, just walking back to my hotel after a long day off. Long day of, working a couple of short cons. Classic pigeon drop scam. Putting out feelers for a rip deal. I was going to steal a baby, probably. Would have made me rich. Found myself walking past this very cemetery. Now, I was never a very superstitious man. But something seemed off. I could hear some sort of commotion happening deep within the graveyard, and I felt compelled to investigate. And thank God you did. Georgia and I were conducting a seance in the mausoleum. At first, things were pretty normal. But after about an hour, everything went south. Playing back the EVP meter, we were able to hear a single word. Run. The air suddenly went cold. Something was very, very wrong. We knew we weren't alone. We started to hear this faint, distant scraping noise, like something being dragged across the ground. It got louder and louder, until it was deafening, like some kind of demented howl. And then I felt it. Something, grabbing my ankle. Robert has the whole crowd hook, line, and sinker. You could hear a pin drop. I've only cried twice in my life. Once was at the birth of my daughter. The other one was when that thing started dragging me. Wasn't sure where it was taking me, but I knew it was no place I wanted to go. I was sure I was going to die. The moment I crossed in the gated cemetery, I heard this god-awful screeching. I ran into the mausoleum just in time to see a man being pulled across the floor by God. To this day, the mere thought of it ties my stomach into knots. It looked like a man, but like... I glanced at Robert. Like someone who didn't know what a man was supposed to look like tried to put one together. The arms were too long, its eyes glowed red. It was like a walking shadow. What I did what any good person would do. I lunged for... Shoot, what was his fake name again? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. David. Daniel McSturgis. God. Your minor animation is not enough to tell me what you mean. Daniel. Yes! I grabbed his hand and entered into a tug of war with the unholiest of forces.
Huh?
I thought I was going to be torn in half. But I had God on my side. The pocket Bible I always kept on me fell out of my shirt pocket, and to this day, I can remember what passage it opened up to. Oh, sweet Jesus. I get it. I'm like, I don't know what it means. I'm always good for revelations. I always presume that must mean something. Blessed is he that readeth, and that they hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. I have no idea where Robert pulled that verse from. With a horrifying growl, the entity finally relented. Daniel and I collapsed onto the ground, exhausted. We were both covered in blood. A damn creature clawed into my chest. Got me real good. I had to get 16 stitches. Robert pulls down the collar of his shirt to reveal a long, wicked scar across his pecs. And that's how I got this scar.
Hey.
I followed Georgia Mathers to the end of the earth. We faced exorcisms, demons, poltergeists that threw our equipment across the room, but I had never seen Georgia so scared. She was never the same after that. Neither was I. Watching what happened to Daniel and Georgia shook my faith, but I came out of that experience a better man and a better friend. We've been brothers ever since. The tour group gives us a round of applause as Daniel, or Robert, and I share an emotional hug. As he embraces me, I can smell the cologne on his neck. Wow, Robert does clean up good. I find myself lingering a little too long on the hug. The tour guide seems to have bought it. Even he's wiping a tear from his eyes. Thank you. Thank you. It's been an honor to be able to share our story. Be sure to watch out for our book. Guide to the Hottest Ghost. Paranormal Excursions of the Supernatural. Ice Road Ghost Truckers. I saw a demon. The shocking true story of seeing a demon. Robert has a suppressive laugh at that one. Well, I think you both definitely earned your t-shirts. The tour guide hands us the coveted t-shirts. He then slips us both his business card and leans in close. You guys are ever in need of a professional actor, balloon animal artist, Elvis impersonator, or nude model, please don't hesitate to contact me. You got it, buddy. After a couple of tourists take selfies with us, we split away from the group and walk home. Oh, that was incredible. I really can't believe they bought all of that. I didn't know you had it any handsome. Excuse me, Dr. Loomis. That bit about the pocket Bible was aces, though giving the Dover ghost glowing red eyes was a little cliche. And the Kubrick conspiracy wasn't a bit.
Hey.
All part of the character. Well, we got the shirts out of it. We arrived in front of Robert's house. Want to have a drink? You trying to poison me? Is that even a question? Robert, how long have you known me for? Do you really think I would turn down the opportunity to share a fine alcoholic beverage with my treasured friend and accomplice, Dr. Robert Bobbert Small? You ever call me Bobbert again, I will kick you right in the shins. Both of them.
Oh.
Then you can expect an angry phone call from my orthopedist in the morning. Bobbert. Robert just laughs and starts unlocking his door. Ugh. My shins live to die another day. Robert leads me inside. I can't help but think about what Mary said to me. Robert did seem a little off. But that was completely but that completely disappeared when we were joking around with the ghost tour. I don't know. He's hard to read. While I'm thinking, I hear claws skittering across the floor. Oh god, it's his pitbull. I'm about to be torn to shreds. I shut my eyes tight and brace for impact. Betsy, hey, be nice. I don't feel anything but tiny paws scratching at my shoes. I open up my eyes. Betsy? Robert's dog jumps away from me, running around in circles and sniffing Robert's legs. He pats her on the head. Hey, that's not a pit bull. That's the cutest, dumbest Boston Terrier I've ever seen. Betsy, you're not a pit bull, and you weren't taken by the Dover ghost. Betsy's made of tougher stuff than that, ain't you, girl? Betsy rolls over for some well-deserved belly rubs.
Hey.
I just keep a picture of a large pit bull in my wallet in case of emergencies. Comedic emergencies. We make our way to Robert's living room for a quiet man with arguably the oldest pickup truck that can be legally driven. This place is amazing. There are sleek modern appliances throughout the room with a big flat screen TV mounted on the wall. I will say I did notice that. That is a really big TV if we're to take everything to scale. Let me just say. Damn. Also, I did not miss that box wine and the succulents. He has his shelves upon shelves of DVDs. Guess he wasn't lying about being really into cinema. He pours us both glasses of whiskey from a well-stocked bar in the corner while Betsy curls up on a pile of cushions. So, how'd you really get that scar? And don't tell me you got it fishing for Alaskan king crabs in the Bering Sea or something. You trained me too well. Robert laughs and takes a sip of his drink. My daughter and I were riding our bikes. They hit a rock, flew over the handlebars, and we went to the hospital. And that's it.
Hey.
Not a very interesting story. Never heard you talk about your daughter. Oh, I have one.
Huh.
That's her. He points at the picture on the wall. Very serious little girl with dark eyes. Yep, that's definitely Robert's daughter. How old is she? 25? 26? I'm not too sure. Does she live around here?
Whoa.
No, Val lives back home in Brooklyn. Works at some new media online magazine thing. Makes buckets, though. She suddenly seems really serious. Probably shouldn't press him about it. You like Santana? Yes.
Hey.
Great. Robert puts on Santana, then takes a seat on the couch next to me. He suddenly downs his drink in one gulp. Hey, you alright? Robert leans in and kisses me, the taste of whiskey burning my lips. I'm surprised at first, but still I relax into his arms. He pulls away slightly, his lips barely brushing against my mouth. I am now. I can't say anything, at best managing a sigh. Robert leans in again, kissing me harder. He pulls my bottom lip between his teeth and bites slightly, sliding a hand under my shirt. My heart pounds my chest as he lies us both down on the couch. He kisses a trail down my neck, his teeth grazing my skin. I just... Wait. It's not that. Robert bites down and I have to stifle a moan. Stop. Robert stiffens up and pulls away.
I don't know.
No biting? No, I'm more than okay with that.
Hey.
Something's up. Robert runs a hand through his hair and looks away. I'm fine. I've just been kind of stressed out, tired. Not a big deal. I'm like, we should push it. Listen, I want this as badly as you do, but I know something's wrong. I need to make sure you're okay. Robert stares at the ground. You don't know me that well, handsome. I'm not a good person. Takes a deep breath. I spent my whole life only taking and taking and taking, and now here I am, an old, broken man sitting on top of a pile of everything I've ever taken. Alone. But I want to know you. You don't have to keep hiding behind fake stories and acting like you don't have feelings. He sighs heavily. It's Val. She's visiting tomorrow. She wants to patch things up. Are you... I'm sorry, but... Is this a bit... No. When was the last time you saw her? 3, 4, I think. Months?
Oh?
Years. I sit up straight. Jesus, Robert. What happened between you two? I don't want to talk about it. Robert and I sit in silence, neither of us wanting to look at each other. Both of us unsure what to do next. Fine. Things were already bad between us. I cared about her. I always did. Things just got in the way. Before I knew, she was leaving for college, wanting nothing to do with me. Mara and I moved out here to settle down. We thought it would help to get away from all the distractions, all the money, the drinking. But temptation gets to you. I tried to be better, but I just couldn't. And then the accident changed everything. I think every day about how she must have died hating me. I never became the better man that she wanted me to be, the one she always saw in me. She was the last thread Val and I had connecting us together. I didn't know that when I lost my wife, I was going to lose my daughter too. Robert. I spent so much time chasing after things I thought were going to make me happy that I ruined my only real chance at happiness. Now my wife is dead and my daughter hates me. And then I convinced myself that this, just vaguely in my direction, was going to make me happy. Why do I even try anymore? I'm so sorry. I know how hard it is to... No, you don't. How could you possibly know how this feels? You did everything right. Your daughter loves you. You're a good person. I was a terrible husband, an even worse father. I have no idea why she's even bothering to contact me now. I know I'm just going to fuck it up like I always do. I'm broken. I shouldn't even go. Robert puts his head in his hands. Tell him what he needs to hear. I think, for a man who lies a lot, I think honesty might help. Nothing is going to change until you do. Robert pauses. He looks at me. There are a lot of things in my life that I regret, that I wish I could take back and do over. And it hurts so much to know that I can't. But what I can do, and what you have the privilege of doing tomorrow morning, is to wake up and try to be a better person than you were the day before. Things aren't going to fix themselves tomorrow or the next day, and patching things up with Val isn't going to solve all your problems either, but nothing is going to change if you don't, and you can't love anyone else until you stop hating yourself. And you're right. I don't know you that well, but you have the same capacity for good that we all have, and I know you can find it. Val's giving you a chance. Don't waste it. But, Robert, listen to me. It's going to be okay. I lean over and embrace Robert, pulling him in as tightly as I can. He buries his head into my shoulder, hugging me back. It's gonna be okay. I place a hand in the back of his head and stroke his hair. He shudders, then sobs, and I realize he's crying. Thank you. We stay there for a while holding each other. We both eventually drift off to sleep. Okay. Oh. That was way more real and intense than I ever thought that was going to be. No playful minigame here unless you count trying to tell a ghost story. But I will say he has, as advertised there, looks like a man who's had some problems. I knew he needed more love. I knew he needed our help. Achievement unlocked. Knife Dad.